It's Fernando Ruiz Art.
Hi everybody, and you are looking at a portrait of Kitty Ravencraft, and she's the main character of the independent series that I co-created with my fellow Archie artist and Kubert School graduate Dan Parent. The series is titled Die, Kitty Die, and we've done a number of Die, Kitty Die books. We've done 3 so far, and we're currently Kickstartering the 4th volume in the series. So, and I'm saying all this because right now, as of this recording, we are in the final 48 hours of the Kickstarter campaign for Die, Kitty Die Starstruck. So I very much recommend you check out our campaign. There'll be a link for it in the description below, and if you can offer us any kind of support, we would very much appreciate it. We are selling all sorts of original art through the campaign, and it's all posted there on the Kickstarter site, and we're also available for commissions through the campaign. So if there's anything anybody ever wanted drawn by either Dan or myself, just contact us, let us know, and you could pay for it through a pledge to the campaign. So check it out, Die, Kitty Die Starstruck, and as I said, there'll be a link below. Okay, so today I want to continue with our perspective studies. We're going to do a very important topic today, which is we're going to begin to talk about the grid. So I am right now laying down a horizon line, or as we've defined in previous videos, the eye level. And if you haven't checked out my previous videos on perspective, I would recommend you do so. You could really take them in any order. At least that's how I try to create them as. But it'd be good if you check them all out. So, okay, so I'm putting down the front of a cube, a square here, and I'm going to give myself a vanishing point right around here. And I'm finding the 4 corners of my square, and with my ruler, I'm going to draw my receding lines from those squares, like this, like that, and like so. Now what I want to do is I want to kind of guesstimate, I want to go a little longer. Okay, I want to guesstimate the depth of this cube, and like I said, I want to go a little longer here. So let's go like this, okay? I'm not going to worry about the other sides of the cube right now, and in fact, I'm going to get rid of some of these lines just because they would get in my way later. Okay, I just want the 2 sides unfettered of my cube. Okay, so in a recent video, I discussed the perspective center versus the true center. And you may want to check that out because that's some important material right there. But today we're going to talk about the grid, and the grid is maybe even more important. Well, it's hard to judge. It's all important. But this is going to be really crucial because it's going to let us do just a lot of different things. So let's say, and I'm going to keep this easy. I'm going to do 1/2 inch increments. Okay, 1/2 inch increments. My cube is 3 inches tall, and you know what? I'm going to give it that other 1/4 inch just so that this is nice and even all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to cheat a little here. Okay, So I actually have a perfect cube now, okay? So I did 1/2-inch increments going up this side. And I'm going to do 1/2-inch increments going down the other side. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. These increments are totally arbitrary, okay? And I'm going to join up these increments like this. And when I say arbitrary, I mean that they could be a 1/2 inch, they could be 1/4 of an inch, they could be whatever measurement you want. Now what I want to do is I want to measure off, let's do 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. And I'm going to go up here. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, every 1/2 inch. And now I'm going to join up these 1/2 inch marks. So this is fairly easy, right? All I did was just measure off increments down the sides and across the top and bottom of the front of my cube, and I was able to grid it out into 1/2 inch cubes. And like I said, that 1/2 inch measurement is totally up to me. It is totally arbitrary. If I wanted to, I could go smaller, or if I wanted to, I could go larger. I will say, the finer the grid that you make, okay, the finer the increments you use, the smaller the increments, the more you will be able to do. I'm sticking with this 1/2 inch measurement just because it's going to be easy to say. Easier to see, more simpler to get the point across. Okay, so now what I want to do is, well, I've made a grid on the front of my cube. Now I want to make a grid on the side. This is going to be a little tougher. I can't measure things, but I can play off of this cube. I can't measure things because of the recession. This plane is receding back towards this vanishing point. So because of that, it's going to throw off the measurements of everything. My cubes, which are all equal in space on the front here, because they're all on a flat plane, here they're going to be getting smaller as they recede toward my vanishing point. Okay, and we're going to illustrate this in a moment. So what I'm going to do is from each of these increments, okay, from the beginning of each of these lines, I'm going to connect that to my vanishing point and draw a receding line. Okay, that one. And as I always say, for the love of the baby Jesus, use a ruler for this stuff, folks. Don't try to wing it. Use a ruler. Okay, so now I've got receding lines. Now what I need are my verticals. But as I know just from pure observation, I know that my verticals are going to be closer and closer together as they recede towards that vanishing point. How close? I don't know. And I don't want to just guess at it because that's not going to be very accurate. So what I'm going to do, this is how I'll find those verticals. I'm going to connect my opposing corners, this top corner down to this bottom corner. At every interval that this diagonal line that I just drew, at every point that it connects to one of these receding lines, that's going to be a point I'm going to use. And now what I'm going to do is go with my ruler, trying to keep it as perfectly horizontal to this corner as I possibly can. I'm going to move it to that first line, draw a vertical line. Move it to the second line, draw a vertical line. Third, vertical, another vertical, another vertical. And there I've done it. Now I have effectively gridded out my cube, both on the front and on the receding plane. Now, and hopefully you saw how I did that. That diagonal line, that tells me which point, where to draw an intercepting vertical line. Okay, now what's the point of all this? Well, with the grid, I can now measure things. I can now measure things fairly accurately. So if I were to turn my cube here into a building, and let's say on the front of this building, I wanted a window. My window is 1 cube across, 2 cubes high. Well, let's say I want windows on the side of my building too. Well, I'm going to draw them 1 cube across, 2 cubes high. Now I have a window that is in perfect perspective and in perfect proportion with this window. And if I wanted to, I could draw another window further on down the grid. And there we have now 2 windows. They're both equal in size, but they are proportionate to each other. And, you know, I'm doing this with windows. I could do this with doors if I wanted to. Anything at all that I want to add to this structure, this cube, I can now do so in perfect proportion. And as I said before, remember when I selected that 1/2 inch increment, that was arbitrary. If I went with finer increments, say 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch, then hopefully you could see that my grid will be even finer, okay, full of smaller cubes, smaller squares, and I'm able to do even more so. So I could get into even more detail, such as ledges, window panes, anything like that I want to add. Okay, does this make sense? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you have any questions, we will be continuing with this grid because it's important. It's important, and hopefully you're beginning to see just how much you could do with this. So I hope this has taught you a few things. I hope it's opened up your eyes. If you enjoy what I've done here, please click like. Again, questions, comments below. If you enjoyed all my videos, please subscribe. I could always use more subscribers, and of course, feel absolutely free to share any of this stuff. Share it all over, because that's how we can just grow the channel, as they say. And just another reminder, please check out the Die Kitty Die Kickstarter, Die Kitty Die Starstruck. Check it out. It's in its last 48 hours, so time is running out. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye-bye.